guaranteed stuff. There's just a lot of pressure and a lot of
there's more interaction.
Yeah.
In an interactive game like a fighter, that basically long-term power of your tools will scale with player skill to where tools that aren't as good can be made better by a player being good. So, for example, if you have a smash that's quick but has a lot of cooldown, that's not a good move to throw out. So it's hard to use.
Yeah.
But a good player will get a lot more mileage than just a simple powerful tool.
Yeah.
Whereas a simple tool that's good might not have enough depth to have anything to do with player skill.
Yeah.
So, for example, I guess you could say like Link's boomerang in PM is not. It's safe on shield. There's not like it doesn't have a lot of complicated or complex uses, so it doesn't scale with player skill. It's just good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how good you are. Your boomerang is gonna be good as a better Link's boomerang in most situations, which is good early on, like you were saying. But then, I mean, we see Link's place a lot worse or not Link's place a lot worse, but fewer Links place really well.
Yeah.
Nowadays in Project M because, that tool doesn't have a lot of depth to it, and as a result, either we just learn how to deal with it, or we find more tools and use our skills as players to essentially make them better, and then they become better than the boomerang.
Yep. Also, something very interesting, if you really want to get into the complete depth of a video game, choose the exact opposite of the style you would initially go for. So that's actually what I did with PM and what I did with Smash 4 as well. I am traditionally a zoning player, and whenever I moved to PM and I moved to Smash 4, ready, go. All right, playing a little bit of fetch. Whenever I moved to Smash 4, I had essentially skill capped as far as I had hit a plateau. I had hit a plateau of my understanding of the game, and I needed something new. And so by choosing Sheik and choosing Little Mac, both are infighters, essentially, close quarters, and they require good fundamentals, good reads, and quick timing, and good traps. My understanding of the game exploded, and it was just like I am the alpha and the omega now. I can see everything, even though I lose, whatever. But still, it helped me out a lot. So, but yeah, any final tidbits on choosing a main?
That's what I was going to talk about earlier. Is one of the reasons I'm so good at PM is that I play like 30 characters. And as a result, you understand new things about the game by playing other characters. Like if you pick a character and then you play with them, you'll understand their weaknesses, like intrinsically, without having to think about them. So then you get better versus that character. And in addition, when a character presents you with something, an unusual tool, you get to understand more about not only that tool in the game, but how people react to it. So it can also make you a better mental player.
Yeah.
So for example, like, I learned to play Sonic very briefly, and playing lots of players with him, I would just charge down B. This wasn't 3.0, it wasn't 2.5 when that's all you needed to do. But yeah, I would just charge down B, and lots of people reacted to it differently because it's scary. Because it's essentially, I'm charging a move, I'm going to attack, but you don't know when, and you're too far away to hit me until I attack. So you can see how people react to that, and then you can apply that to like, oh, well, when people are pressured at this range, they tend to do this, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
here's an interesting question. Whenever you are first getting into a game, there are essentially two different mindsets of people who get into games. The first mindset is choose one character, get really good with that character, and then you can understand the game from there. And then there's the second mindset of play all the characters, get a wide range of how they play, and within the amount of time that you would have played the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, choose your main.
Yeah.
Which do you ascribe? Well, I mean, I guess we already know, but which do you think is a better approach to learning the game and being a better player?
Definitely playing as many characters as you can. So, I mean, you can play characters on the side. It's just that there's so many inherent risks and disadvantages to only playing one character. It's like, what happens if there just turns out to be a horrible matchup that you face? Then you're just screwed because you put your time only into one character. What if that character is essentially a fraudulent character and you get away with some dumb stuff for free all the time? If you only understand... So like with Fox, if you only play Falco in Melee, it's not a particularly interactive character, so you can be pretty bad at the mental game and still do well with Falco. But even if Falco's not interactive, at the highest levels, you need interaction, even with a character like that. So then you could do well without interacting, so you don't even think about it as something that you need to do as a player. Then you start losing, and you won't understand why, because you never have to do that. And so you start losing, and it's something you've never even considered as a reason you could be losing. And that's because you only see the game through one character that doesn't require that skill. So, I mean, there's dangers like that. And, I mean, like if you could... is it really that valuable putting a little bit more time into your main as opposed to putting a little time into a secondary? Like, I would pick up secondaries by just playing them at Smash Fest. So we would have a Smash Fest in my apartment every week. For like a long time. And if I wanted to try a new character, I would just play that character at the Smash Fest. And that was it. Yeah. And, that was enough to be playing. That was enough to basically learn the character. And then compare that. Do you really think that, like, if I had instead put those Smash Fests into only playing Rob, would my Rob really be that much better?
It's greater matchup experience. So that's the whole thing. It's
like you get so many more advantages from playing multiple characters, and you avoid the disadvantages of only playing one character. And that the assumed disadvantage of playing multiple characters where you don't put enough time into your main, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to manage that. And even then, it's just like you'll learn so much in the first 10 hours of playing with a secondary. And then if it's like the 10th 10 hours that you're putting into your main, you're really not going to learn as much about the game. If you've already put 100 hours into your main,
it's true.
The next 10 hours aren't going to be super... I mean, they're going to be important, but they're not going to be super valuable. You might just learn more by putting 10 hours into another character.
Wise words.
Thank you.
I typically go with balls deep, choose one character. That's what I go with. I play around with the other characters, but my reasoning is that if I stick to one character, then I can gain much greater matchup knowledge very quickly because I just understand what options work against other characters and other players very, very quickly with that character. Mm-hmm. It works out very well on the short term.
Yeah.
Works terribly on the long term because you end up, like, for instance, in Brawl, I actually didn't know any of Meta Knight's moves at all.
Sword attack.
I just knew
sword
that they...
attack, tornado.
Yeah, it was like, well, I know that's a sword attack and that's a sword. I know that there's going to be swords coming out of this character. I just have to avoid them.
I see that. I see that factor. Like nobody ever wants to play as Olimar or play against Olimar.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He hits you with his Pikmin attack. He hits you with Pikmin.
It's a Pikmin attack.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what came out. You just know that you're now dead.
You just got hit with a Pikmin.
Yep. So that is essentially our first topic of how to choose mains. And suppose you are Johnny. And Johnny just chose his character, and he's like, "All right, cool, let's do this." And he starts playing, goes to Smash tournaments, goes to Smash Fests, and then he's run into a problem, and the problem was that he's hit a plateau, and he needs to practice, and he's not quite sure, number one, what he should practice, because apparently, he practices, but it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And so, number one, what to practice, and number two, even how to figure out what to practice.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Once again, not the best person to ask because I don't really practice. I lucked out with PM because I played Melee casually for like years, and like casual but not going to competitive but not going to tournaments.
Yeah.
I played Melee like that for a lot, so I had a bunch of hours into the game, so I had a good understanding. So I didn't ever really need to practice. I do now.
Yeah.
Now that people are playing weird characters that I have to that keep me more honest. I need to practice more, but I'm not super great about practice routines. There is a really good post on Reddit by Albert. I don't know if you saw this post.
I didn't.
He's just this dude. He got like third at his first Melee tournament ever, and he beat like good people. He's
really good. He beat the grandpas.
Yeah, he's basically the best not Wobbles player in Dallas. I don't know if he's still around. I think he might have left for college. I haven't seen him in a while. But anyways, he just came out of nowhere. Like he just played by himself. And he didn't go to tournaments. And his first tournament he got third. And he wrote this guide on how to practice in Melee. That was basically just like his really specific routine.
Can you go over it? I haven't read it.
I don't remember a lot of it. But most of it was just like you basically need to plan out your practice. You can get good by just playing, but it's more efficient if you can practice well.
Yeah.
So he would he would watch videos and like not just watch videos, he would study videos and like take notes on himself and his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And he would, on stuff that he was struggling that he wanted to do but couldn't do, he would set aside specific time to practice on those. Like, for example, a ledge dash in Melee. That's really hard. So he would just practice ledge dashing.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, with Falco, you'd probably need, like, your shortens. Like, that's a tough timing to get down, shortening your side B.
Yeah.
So that's something you would just practice. Like, you just side B until you could shorten it. So just things like that. Like, so figure out what is causing you to lose, what you're not doing well enough, and practice that.
Yeah.
This is for like the technical aspect of the game, not the mental aspect. You can't really. To me, I practice the mental aspect by thinking. I just think about Smash or PM or whatever. I just think about what I should be doing and like possible new things. Then I try it out later. And I think that keeps my mental game up to par. But technical game, just like buttons, is something you need specific. You don't always need, but it's best to have specific, planned out practice routines.
Yeah.
Imagine you're on a sport. Like, you don't just go to basketball practice and then just play pickup games for 2 hours. You stretch, you do warm-ups, you do laps, and then you go into your station or whatever and then practice something for your position, whatever your coach wants. Your coach knows what you're supposed to practice. And then maybe at the end, then you play pickup games. So it's not just playing basketball until you're good.
Yeah, he and that may be emphasizing part of the problem is that you've never come to a situation in your life where you've had to think about how you practice, because whenever you join a team, you've always had a coach, and the coach thinks about how you should practice, and he just sort of tells you stuff to do, and you're just like, whatever, I'll do it. And you've never actually thought about, oh, this is the reason why I'm tippy-toeing around these cups, right? Whatever. It's just like,
okay. It's a basketball thing.
Or like,
I thought that was like a game, and you were like saying why is like, why do I tippy-toe around the cups? I need the reason behind why I play tippy-toe cup.
Or like the rope, the square rope things, and you gotta lift your legs up in football. Or the tires as well. Yeah, tires. Same concept, except easier, wider. You never think about it, but the coaches are. So, sort of your first step can be to essentially think of yourself as a coach trying to improve your game. How would you, as a coach yourself?
Yeah, you have to be both Little Mac and Doc.
Yeah. If you are Little Mac and Doc, you'll be cookies and cream. You'll be excellent, delicious. Everyone will choose you in a waffle cone.
Cookies
be awesome.
and cream? But that's not even a good flavor.
That is a good flavor. Are you
serious?
It's a
decent flavor. That's like
great.
That's like the laziest flavor. That's the one that's...
It is the laziest.
Exactly. It's just cookies and cream, dude. Come on. It's like you don't go to Marble Slab and get cookies and cream. It's like I'm getting like the weird stuff and the weird mix-ins. You got to try. There's nice.
You're the one that puts Fruit Loops and everything.
Oh no, not that weird.
I bet you would.
I have standards.
Oh,
my older brother was that guy. He would get gummy bears in every flavor of ice cream you could imagine. It was just
that's disgusting.
Gross. Yeah.
If
you're watching, Will, you're gross.
Frickin' Will. He's never coming on this podcast.
Oh, of course
not. I choose birthday cake.
That's a great one. Birthday cake. The rare ice cream flavors involving cinnamon. I like banana split. Cookie dough. I love cookie dough.
Cookie dough's insane.
And then chocolate. I like not just plain chocolate, but like chocolate that has something special about it, like Rocky Road or German chocolate.
Yeah.
At Brahms, my go-to is a malt with half cookie dough, half Rocky Road.
Brahms is birthday cake. I have to do their birthday cake is delicious.
I don't think I've actually tried their.
It has real birthday cake in it.
Isn't it like
they just freaking mix in?
Isn't it like
real,
colorful?
It's blue.
Yeah, no, I can't eat colorful ice cream. That's too. It's blue.
You can't eat blue. Blue's a difficult color to.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's the sky.
It's blue, dude. It's not the color of ice cream.
The sky has fallen into my waffle cone.
It's just what? It's just it's like neon, like super bright blue. It's not a natural color.
This is not natural.
It's like eating paint. That's what it looks like.
Have you tried paint?
Yeah. It's horrible. I would not recommend it.
Dude, cookie dough, I actually I eat the ice cream, leave the cookie dough, and then I eat all the cookie dough at the same time.
That's why the malt is the best, because you drink the malt, and then at the end there's a bunch of cookie dough at the bottom.
One time I was eating popcorn. This is related to the paint story. One time I was sitting. I was like 12. I was sitting on my parents' floor. I was watching a movie. I was eating popcorn. It was like one of those like salty popcorn things in a container, and like so I was eating it. I looked down, and every once in a while I drop some popcorn. Yeah. So I looked down and I see this like white piece of popcorn, and so I was like, popcorn. No. And so I pick it up and I eat it, and it just sort of crunched, and it was just like. It was the little little drainy, drippy things from the ceiling.
Oh,
It was...
No, you ate drywall.
I ate whatever that was. It was the worst taste
God, that sounds
of
awful.
my life.
Because that's not only eating paint, but eating weird building materials.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah,
It was
that's
not good.
terrible.
That changed me.
I thought you were gonna say it was like a tooth or something.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, that'd be
come on,
weird.
man. I said paint. Where's you? You need to
to-
stop watching those movies.
Related to eating weird stuff that shouldn't
No,
be eaten,
no,
like teeth.
No. Who? I think of you differently now.
What?
So back to the discussion. I don't know where we were at. We were talking about practicing efficiently. So
Yeah.
We've gone over sort of how you think about it. So
Yeah.
the way that I think of it is as I'm playing in tournament and as I am playing in friendlies, I will note very specifically. Let's say I'm playing. This actually happened. I played against. This was the first. OKI, the Oklahoma Invitational.
Yeah.
That wasn't actually an invitational. Whatever. You, me, Sethlon,
Everybody.
everyone went to it, right? And this was about the time that I read "Playing to Win"
Yeah.
by David.
It
Sterling.
took you that long?
Yes.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, man. That was whenever I was like, it's time. So, Serlin.net, by the way, if you haven't read it, read it, please. So, one of the things he brings up is that whenever you're trying to practice effectively, you need to understand what you're going to practice. So, what I decided was, okay, well, I played against Dinty. In tournament, and I noted... No, it was Jay-Z. I played against
The
Jay-Z.
rapper.
I played against Jay-Z. Yeah. I played against Jay-Z in tournament. He plays in Ivysaur. And I noted I lost. I noted in tournament what I was dying from and what was causing me to take percent. Every single time we went out of neutral and he won neutral, I noted it. And every single time I lost a stock, I noted it. And it was just like, okay, number one, he was getting free vine whips on me.
Yeah.
So I noted I have a little, keep.google.com, little notepad thing. It was like, pay more attention to Ivysaur's throws, right? And I also noted that whenever I would shield one of Ivysaur's Nairs, multi-hitting moves, any of her multi-hitting moves, I would let go of shield too early and get hit by, for instance, up tilt.
Yeah.
I noted that as well. It's like, hold shield longer, punish up tilt, because a lot of Ivysaurs do that. And then as well as that, I would get clipped I would shield Razor Leaf, and I would get grabbed after the shield.
Yeah.
Note that down. And so now I have three things very, very specific about my game versus Ivysaur that he was taking advantage of. And then from there, I just go and I play friendlies with an Ivysaur, and I focus very specifically on those three things.
Yeah. That's another thing that's important. It's not necessarily practice, but whenever you play, you have to learn how to play to learn, not playing to win. So this means you don't always have to do this in tournament, but like in friendlies and stuff, don't do stuff like abusing a tactic that works, because it might work based on a flaw of your opponent. Like I could boost Nair at most players in friendlies and just win off of them not knowing how to deal with it with Rob. But I'm not going to learn anything from that. All I learn is that I'm playing someone who can't deal with boost Nair. So usually in friendlies you want to try out more things and experiment more and note whether or not they worked. Yeah. you can't really just play to win. You can't just play for the win. You can't just play intuitively.
You have to experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to cautiously or consciously, I should say.
Yeah.
Experiment. You can't just do random stuff and hope it works.
So speaking very specifically about that. So let's say, for instance, I had a very big problem where I was abusing fair from Sheik and PM just too much.
Yeah.
And I would end my combos way too earlier than they could possibly be. Like you could, like I would end up getting, let's say, a 40% combo whenever I could have gotten a 60% combo or just a flat out 0 to death scenario.
Yeah.
And so what I would do in order to improve my game, and this is actually a tactic that I use a lot because it helps out a lot. It stops me from essentially doing what you said, which is sort of abusing a tactic and finding other things.
Yeah.
Is I would say that I am not allowed to use a certain move.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was not allowed to use fair at all for like an hour straight of not using fair and figuring out how else I could move the combo further and further, because the fair is an ender. You can't, there's no follow-up from that. It's just done. So if you could just push it as far as you can without it, then afterwards you add it back and things just become immediately better for you.
Yeah.
Similarly, for instance, Falco's Laser.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of characters, a lot of people would rely on Falco's Laser as essentially a, I'm just going to spam you. This is how I'm going to win. And then whenever conflict arises, they instantly lose.
Yeah.
So, as a Falco player, if you just remove Laser and force yourself to deal with those interactions, then you just overall become a better player because you're focusing very specifically about a very key part of your gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's actually what makes the difference between good players and amazing players is whenever it's all about, you mold yourself into this statue.
Yeah.
Right? And you can be a pretty good marble statue, but it isn't until you focus on the very specific details of your gameplay, the statue, and grind those very specific things out slowly and work over these minute pieces that you transform yourself from a great player to a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I figured out, was I was just looking at the game way too generally.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying attention to those things.
Wild Cephalon appears.
Dun.
Oh, okay. He fled.
Dun 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 dun. Okay.
He fled. It's okay.
He fled. It's okay.
Gotta make the
Freaking Abras,
fled
man.
noise.
So that's essentially my game plan. Whenever I lose, I want to look at those things. And by the way, it's just really painful to do that.
Oh, like I hate it. Sometimes if I can't watch my own game footage, like if I've had a bad day and I come home, it's just like I should be watching this, but I can't. It'll make me too upset.
Yeah, it's really painful.
But it's important. It's painful. It's a good pain. It's like I don't know if you've ever been like really badly sunburned and then you like take a hot shower and it hurts like awfully for like a few seconds, but then it's better for your skin, and then your skin will stop hurting when you get out of the shower for a little bit. So it's like that.
So what Rob's saying is you need to be just a little bit of a masochist.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just go, if you're pale, just go hang out in the sun for a few hours with no shirt on.
You'll definitely be better at Smash because of it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that, what else? Was there?
I think it was practicing and choosing a main.
Okay.
We talk about tiers for Smash 4, I guess. People wanted to hear that. Maybe.
We'll save that. We'll save that. Yeah. We'll save that.
Yeah.
Don't want to give them too much.
Oh yeah. We gotta tease them a little bit.
So that essentially ends our discussion. If you would like to hear us talk about some other topic, once again, this doesn't have to be Smash related. This can be generalized into esports, Tourney Locator, the competitive mindset and spirit, or it can be as very specific as how to practice in Smash 4 or tier lists or things like that. If you would just,
comment on the YouTube video that you're watching right now. If you're watching on Twitch right now, then wait for the YouTube video to be published and then comment what you want us to
or put it in the chat.
About.
We're going to look at the chat here in a moment.
Yeah. Do that too. But
or
do the
tweet
YouTube
us.
thing. So yeah, tweet us
at Tourney Locator.
Yeah, go on our Friendster and write us there.
Go on our MySpace.
But
we have a really good wall.
If you send us a letter, we're not going to tell you the address, but if you can get a letter with your topic, I promise it will be in the next episode of TLOC Talk.
Yeah, if you do it, if you send us a letter,
figure out where to find this letter.
Yep.
And if you do, please don't put our address online, or where we not only will we not talk about your topic,
we'll be scared.
We'll call the police.
Yep. There will be a restraining order.
Yeah.
Put your info just in case we need to fill out those form pieces with your name and your address. And sorry, officer, here you go. So we do have an event coming up. We have, once again, our Thursdays are our PM weeklies. You can tune into those or at 8 p.m. On Thursdays, or come out to FX Game Exchange and participate in Plano, Texas, at FX_DFW. As well as that, we have Friday weeklies, same time, same place for Smash 4. This upcoming Saturday, Tourney Locator will be at Super Bit Wars in Oklahoma.
Yes.
If you're in Oklahoma or you plan on going to Super Bit Wars, we will see you there. Otherwise, you can tune
into the stream.
There you go. Tune into stream on Saturday. We will be doing all the streaming events. I'll also be entering into Smash 4.
Yeah.
Get up here.
Come on, Boo Boo. Boo Boo the cat. Let's go.
She's looking. She doesn't.
Oh, she's camera shy.
She's camera shy. That's okay. But I think that covers it. We got a lot of events coming up soon.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. It's going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that
you're
covers
ready.
it.
Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
I'm Bwett.
This is Oracle. This has been another edition of TLOC Talk.
Have a good night.
Wait, I'm going to take the camera, and I'm going to turn it. Can you see Boo Boo? Yeah. Oh, there's Boo Boo the cat. Hey, Boo Boo. There she is. Her name's actually TLO, but I don't know why, but nobody calls her by her real name.